So now we will complete the exercise on the border, margin and padding by using the CSS properties. So guys, it is very important that you practice on your own while you are learning the CSS so that you get the better understanding about the different properties that you can use based on your project requirements. Now we will be following the below steps in order to complete this exercise. So as you can see, the first step is to create a div with 200 pixels height and 50% width with the yellow background color. So guys, let us complete this first task over here. You can also pause this video and practice on your own VS Code and try to solve this problem as we go step by step to complete all these 5 tasks over here. So guys, let us move to the VS Code in this case, and I'll simply remove the previous lines of code in the HTML file and the CSS file as well. Now guys, over here we are going to define the div with 200 pixels height and 50% width. So in this case, simply we are going to have the div tag, and over here we are going to generate the random text. So simply we are going to type lorem, and this is the emmet abbreviation that you can use in order to simply generate the random text over here. So simply we click on this particular emmet abbreviation and we get the random text that is being generated in this case. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page on the browser. So as you can see, this is the div element that is having some random text over here. Now guys, what is the requirement? We need to have the width of this particular div as 50% and height as 200 pixels. So simply we are going to go inside the style.css file, since it is linked to this particular HTML file over here with the help of the link tag in this case. So over here inside the style.css file, we are going to have the tag name that is div, and for this div, so simply we define 200 pixel as the value for height property, and the width property we are going to define it as 50%. So guys, so far we have used the pixel unit in order to define the height and width, but we can also use the percentage in order to define the property in terms of the screen size of the device. So over here the width of 50% meaning from the entire 100% of the screen width, only the 50%, that is half of the screen width, will be considered in order to display this particular div element. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, now the text is being displayed over here only in the 50% width of the screen, which will be somewhere over here. So this we will be able to make out by providing the yellow background color in this case, which is the part of the first task over here. So guys, let us add the background color that is yellow to this div element. So simply we will be using the background color CSS property over here, and then we will provide the value as yellow in this case. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the width is being taken as 50% and the height is 200 pixels over here. Let us verify that. We can simply right click on this div element on the web page and go to the inspect option, and on the right you can scroll down. As you can see, 441.667 pixels, which means it is the 50% of this particular screen size is the width of the div element, and the height is defined as 200 pixels over here, and this is what is being highlighted in green color inside this web page over here. So guys, this is the way that you can define the width and height and the background color for a particular HTML element. Now guys, let us move to the second task over here. Have a black color border for this div with 5px border width. So guys, basically we are going to have the border as well. So simply we can define the border property over here, and the first parameter will be the border width, which is 5 pixels as per the task, followed by the border style that is solid, and by default the color will be black. So simply we are going to define that color as well, which is the border color that is black color. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, a 5 pixels border is being defined to this div element. Now guys, let us move to the next task over here. Set margin as 70 pixels from top and bottom and 50 pixels from left and right. So guys, basically we will be using the margin property in this case in order to define the margins from all the sides. So over here inside the style.css, simply we are going to define the margin shorthand method. If we simply provide 70 pixels over here, the 70 pixels margin will be provided from all the sides. But if you want to provide different margins from individual sides of the div element, then you can provide multiple values for this margin shorthand property. So over here, the first value will reflect to the top of the div element. The second value will be reflecting the right of this div element. So in this case, on the right we want 50 pixels as the margin, and then followed by the bottom margin, which will be 70 pixels once again, and then followed by the left margin, that is 50 pixels once again. So guys, over here we have the 4 values from all the sides. So guys, let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, from top we have the 70 pixels margin, and from the left we have defined the 50 pixels margin over here, and same margins are applied on the bottom and right respectively. So if we right click on this div element and click on the inspect option, let's see the box model over here. As you can see, the margin top it is 70, margin left is 50, margin right is 50, and margin bottom is 70 in this case, based on the task that we want to achieve. So guys, this is the way that we can provide the margin to this particular div element as well. Now guys, let us move to another task. We need to set the padding as 30 pixels from all the sides. Now guys, what is the difference between margin and padding? So we have seen previously that margin is the space that we provide outside of the border of the HTML element. So over here, since this is the border that is black in color, which is enclosing the yellow background and the content as well, the space is being provided outside of this border when we have defined the margin. But when we provide padding over here of 30 pixels, the space will be provided in between the content and the border over here, which means the space will be provided inside of the border, and that is the only difference. So let us check that as well. So in this case, simply we are going to provide a padding of 30 pixels from all sides. So in this case, we provide 30 pixels, and this padding will be provided to all the sides of the div element. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, this is the space inside the border, that is 30 pixels is being provided from all the sides as the padding. So if we right click on this HTML element and click on the inspect option, we can also see the padding that is being provided over here. So as you can see, after this border, we have the padding that is 30 that is being provided on all the sides of this particular div element. Now guys, let us move to another task. Over here, update the margin to get the div in center. So how do we do that? Here is a hint that is being provided. You can use the auto value for the margin. So guys, previously we had seen whenever we use the width as the CSS property for the HTML element, we can use the auto value for the margin in order to get that element at the center of the page. So guys, I'll simply remove this margin property for now, and let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So we don't have any margins for now over here outside of the border. Now the task is to get the div in the center of the page horizontally. So guys, how do we do it? Simply we can provide the margin property over here. So we say margin, and then we have the value that is auto in this case. Now guys, the value auto will help us in order to provide the proper margin from left and right side of the div element in such a way that the div element will be displayed at the center of the page horizontally when we have the width that is being defined over here. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the required margin is provided on the left and the right hand side so that the div element is present at the center of the page. We can simply right click and go to the inspect option over here in order to check the values of the margin. So as you can see, it is 186.167 on the left and on the right as well. So this is possible when we provide the margin property with the value auto in this case. Guys, what if we don't provide the width of this particular div element? So what will happen in this case? So simply if we remove the width of this web element over here, let me just comment out this particular line of code. So we have commented out this with CSS property. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, since a div element is taking the entire width of the screen, we are not able to make out whether the div element is at the center of the page, and that is why we should be using the width property in such a case where we are using margin as auto over here. So when we save this file now and try reloading this page, as you can see, the width of the div element is 50% of the screen right now. We can also increase the width to 80%, which means the width of the div element will be defined as 80% of the screen. Let me just reload this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, on the left, 10% of the screen width is being left out, and on the right as well, another 10% of the screen width is left out, and the remaining 80% of the width is being occupied over here by the div element as we have defined over here. So guys, let me just change this width to 50% over here as per the task. So guys, we have completed all the tasks over here inside the exercise. Comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. The next video that we are going to talk about is box model in CSS. So stay tuned. So guys, it is important that you practice the CSS properties in order to understand them in a more better way. So we are going to check the exercise on the text properties, font and icons in CSS. So basically you are supposed to follow the below steps in order to complete this exercise. So guys, you can pause this video and make sure that each of the tasks are completed from your side before checking the solution for all these tasks over here. So let us move to the first task in this case. So we are supposed to create a div with 500 pixels max width and align it to the center of the page with some background color. So guys, let us move to the VS Code over here and implement this task. So I'll just remove the previous lines of code in this case from the HTML file as well as the CSS file over here. Now guys, we are going to have the div element in this case. So we will say div tag over here, and let's say we generate some random text over here with the help of the lorem emmet abbreviation. So guys, in this case we have generated the random text inside the div element over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page on the browser. So as you can see, we have this text inside the div tag over here. Now guys, for this div element we are going to have the 500 pixels max width. So how do we do that? Inside the style.css file, first of all we will define the div tag over here, and inside this div tag we will have max width CSS property, and for this max width CSS property we will say 500 pixels. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, this text is getting displayed within the 500 pixels width over here. Now guys, apart from this, we also want to align it to the center of the page with some background color. So let us do that as well. So in order to align this at the center of the page, simply we are going to use the margin property, and the value that we can use is auto. So guys, basically this auto value for the margin property will help us in order to have the div element at the center of the page. So let us check that as well. I'll save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So you can see that the text is getting displayed at the center of the page, and in order to make it more clear, we are going to have the background color as well. So simply we are going to provide the background color for this div element, and let's say we provide the color as aqua. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the background color is getting displayed over here, and also the div element is at the center of the page now. Now guys, let us move to another task. Keep the text color as red and align the text to the center of the div element. So basically we are supposed to have the text color as red color. So which CSS property do we use in order to make the text color as red? So over here simply we are going to use the color property, and we will say red color in this case, and also we are going to use the text align property that will help us in order to align the text at the center of the div element. So over here we will select the center value. So let me just save this file now. So two things will happen over here. First of all, the color of the text will be updated to red color, and the alignment of this text will be at the center of this particular div which is having this background color. So let me just reload this page. So as you can see, the text color is updated to red and the text alignment is now set as center over here. Now guys, let us move to another task. We need to provide the 5 pixels black border and the 2 pixels yellow outline to this div. So over here we will provide the border property first of all. So we will say border in this case, and it is going to be 5 pixels solid border with a black color. So guys, this will be the border, and the same way we are going to provide the outline property as well, which is going to have 2 pixels outline width and the color will be yellow. So over here we will say outline, in this case we will say 2 pixels as the outline width, and the outline style will be again solid in this case, and the color of the outline will be yellow. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have the black border, and then after the border we have the yellow color outline. So guys, if you remember, first of all we have the border, and then after the border the outline property will be displayed for that particular HTML element. So this is the way that we have implemented the border and the outline properties as well. Let us move to the next task. So over here we are going to provide some line height to create extra space between the lines of the text. So guys, basically we have this default line height over here that is being displayed in between the lines. So let us provide the line height as well. So inside this div element we are going to say line height in this case, and let's say we provide the line height of 10 pixels. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the 10 pixels line height is not helping us to provide the required extra space over here. So instead of 10 pixels, let us say we want to provide 25 pixels as the line height. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, we have sufficient space in between the lines that are getting displayed inside this div element over here. Now guys, let us move to the next task over here. Make the font size as 24 pixels using EM unit. So guys, what will be the EM unit for the 24 pixels? So if you remember, whatever pixels we have, we need to divide it by 16. So over here we say 24 pixels divided by 16, since 1 EM is equal to 16 pixels. So in this case we will get the value in terms of EM. So we have 1.5 EM as the font size over here. So simply we are going to set the font size property as 1.5 EM. So guys, over here inside the div element we will say font size CSS property, and in this case we will say 1.5 EM. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the font size of the text has been updated now to 1.5 EM. Now guys, let us move to another task. So over here we need to add the icons of heart and computer on the last line of this div using the Google Icons CSS. So guys, basically in the previous video we have seen how we can include the Google Icons line of code over here in order to display the icons inside the HTML page. So guys, this is the line of code that we are going to include related to the Google fonts inside the head section of the HTML page over here, and then after this div tag, simply we are going to use the I tag over here. And the syntax that we are supposed to use, we have already seen in the previous video that this is the syntax in this case by using the I tag over here. So guys, I am going to simply copy this line of code, and this is the link tag that we are going to use inside the head section that we have already provided. So let us provide the syntax over here after the div tag, and the icons that we are supposed to provide is the heart icon and the computer icon over here. So simply we are going to say heart in this case as the icon name. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So guys, you can see that we are not having any icon over here. That's because the name of the icon is not correct. In this case, simply we have provided the heart. But if we go to the official website of the Google Fonts and search for the heart, as you can see, the name of the icon must be favorite over here. So let us provide this particular name, that is favorite in this case. So I am going to simply update this name to favorite over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the heart icon is getting displayed over here, but it is getting displayed outside of this div element. Can we get this heart icon inside of this div element? Let us try that. So what we will do is simply I'm going to remove this line of code over here, and inside the div tag in this case, simply we are going to have the line break over here. So let us have the line break, and after this we are going to have this I tag along with the favorite Google icon. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have this heart icon over here. So guys, basically we have just included this line of code in between the div starting and the ending tag, and that is how we can get the icons inside any of the existing HTML elements. Now guys, apart from this, we also want to display the computer icon as well. So what we will do is simply I'm going to copy this line of code and paste it after this, and we will say computer instead of favorite. So guys, basically this is the name of the icon that you want to display on the HTML page. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, computer icon is getting displayed over here inside the div element. So guys, in this way we have completed all the tasks that are being mentioned inside this particular exercise, and this is how we can practice on our own in order to understand the different CSS properties, so that it becomes easy for us when we are going to implement them based on our requirements. So guys, comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned. So now let us work on this exercise on Z index, overflow, float and the clear properties in CSS. So guys, you can pause this video and practice on your own and complete all these tasks in this particular exercise so that you get the better understanding on all these CSS properties. So we are going to follow the below steps to complete the practice exercise. First of all, we will create the two div elements, that is div1 and div2 IDs with the background colors and some padding. So guys, let us move to the VS Code over here. So simply I'm going to remove the previous lines of code that we had written in the HTML and the CSS files over here, and simply we are going to create the two div elements with the ID div1 and div2. So guys, over here we have the div1 and we are going to provide the text that is div1 over here, and similarly we will have the ID with the div2 for another div tag, and we will say that the text is div2 in this case. And after this we are going to move to the style.css file over here. Simply we are going to provide the ID that is div1 by providing the hash character followed by the ID that is div1 over here. We will provide the background color. So let's say we have the background color as yellow, and guys, for all the div tag we want the padding. So let's say we simply provide the div tag over here, and inside the curly braces we will have the padding of 5 pixels in this case. So guys, basically this padding of 5 pixels will be applied to all the div tags over here, and the background colors will be separately applied based on the ID of the div tag. So over here we have the second div that is div2 over here, and then again we will have the background color, and let's say we have the background color of aqua. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page on the browser. So as you can see, we have div1 and div2 getting displayed on the web page. Now guys, let us move to another task. Over here we have position the div2 above div1 with relative position and applying left and bottom properties. So guys, basically we have to move the second div above the first div over here by using the relative position. So guys, what we can do is, for this div2 we will set the position as relative this time. So over here we say position is equal to relative, and we will say left it is equal to 20 pixels. So guys, basically we want certain spacing from the left and the bottom as well, so that this second div element can be displayed on top of this first div element over here. So let's say we provide the left property with the spacing of 30 pixels. So we say 30 pixels, and from the bottom as well we provide some spacing. So let's say 20 pixels of spacing is provided over here from the bottom. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have the div1 now getting displayed behind this particular div2 element. So guys, this happened because from the normal position of the div2 we have slightly moved it or positioned it from the left and the bottom with these numbers that we have specified in the CSS file over here. And apart from this, since we have defined the second element after the first element, and that is the reason why div2 is getting displayed on top of the div1. So guys, we have completed the second task as well, that is position the div2 above div1 with relative position and applying left and bottom properties. Now guys, we need to get the div1 above div2 using the Z index property. So guys, over here what we have to do is, at the same position we want to display div1 on top of this particular div2. So what we can do is simply inside the style.css file, for this div1 we can provide the z-index property. So over here when we provide the z-index, by default the z-index of div2 is 0. So we want to provide a number that is greater than 0 for this z-index of the first div element. So over here we will provide the z-index of 1. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, there is no change right now. We were expecting that div1 should come on top of div2. So guys, why there is no change? Because we have not provided the position property for the first div. So guys, z-index property will not work for the position is equal to static value, which is the default value for the position attribute, and by default the position value is now having the static value for this first div element. So simply we can say position is equal to relative this time, so that we are positioning this particular first div element as well. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser now to see whether the z index is effective this time. So when we reload this page, as you can see, div1 with the yellow background color is now getting displayed on top of the div2, which has now gone behind over here. So guys, let us reduce certain spacing from the bottom for the div2 element so that we can see certain text over here for the second div element. So let's say we provide the 12 pixel spacing from the bottom. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, div2 is still getting displayed behind of this particular div1 element. So guys, in this way we have used the z-index property. Always remember that it should have the position property as well whenever you are using the z-index property, and the value of the position property should be anything other than static value. Now guys, apart from this, let us create div3 with 40% width and 100 pixels height with random text that will overflow. So guys, let us check this as well. So over here, after the second div, let us create another div over here with div3 id, and let's say we create some generate text over here by using the lorem emmet abbreviation. So over here we have generated certain random text. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have another div element over here. Now guys, in the same task, we want this div element to be having the width of 40% and height of 100 pixels. So let us set that as well. So inside the style.css file, we will say div3, which is the id of this third div element, and for this third div we want the width of 40% this time as per the task over here. So we have the width of 40% and height is 100 pixels. So over here we will say height, it is equal to 100 pixels this time, and apart from this the random text will overflow. So guys, we will also have the background color. So let's say we have the background color of coral value over here. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have the 40% width for this third div element and the height of 100 pixel. But guys, by default we have the overflow value as visible this time. So basically the text is going outside of this container. So guys, we have completed the task, but the text is still going outside of this particular container, that is the div tag. So what we will do is we will move to the other task, that is use the overflow property to create scroll bar for this div3 element. So guys, what we will do is, since this particular text is going outside of the container, simply we can use the overflow property and have the scroll bar on this particular container, so that entire text is limited to be displayed within this particular container. So guys, let us provide this overflow property over here inside the style.css file. So over here we will say overflow property, and this time we will say scroll over here. So basically a horizontal scroll bar will be displayed. We can also use the value of auto over here for the overflow property. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. As you can see, we have the vertical scroll bar over here, and this is the way that we can use the overflow property in order to make the extra text fit inside the container that is having the limited width and height over here. Now guys, apart from this, let us move to the other task, that is to create the div 4 and 5 that should float left and right respectively. So guys, what we will do is we will create more two div tags over here inside the HTML file. So after this div 3 we will have div 4. So let's create the fourth div with the id div 4 over here, and we will say div 4 this time, and again we will create another div with the id that is div 5 over here. So we have created div 4 and div 5 as well. We will also apply the background colors for this div 4 and div 5. So let us do that as well. So we say div 4 with the background color. So let's provide some background color over here. So we will provide the color as yellow green, and for div 5 as well we will provide some other color this time. So guys, over here we use the background color, and let me just see what can be the value. So we will use some light value over here. So let's say we use this particular color for the background color. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have both the divs that are getting displayed, but guys, we want both these divs to be displayed on the left and on the right respectively by using the float property over here. So both the divs should float on the left and the right side of the screen. So guys, what we can do is simply we can provide the float property for the div 4 element. So over here we will say float, it is equal to left, and for the div 5 element we can say float, it is equal to right this time. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have div 4 on the left and div 5 on the right, and that is how we can use the float property in order to make the HTML elements position on any side of the screen, on the left or the right of the screen. Now guys, let us move to another task. We will create another div, that is div 6, that should be displayed below div 4 and div 5. So let us create another div tag over here. So basically we are going to create another div tag for which the ID should be 6 this time and the value will be div 6 over here. Let us see how this will be displayed by default without providing any position. So in the style.css, simply we are going to provide the background color for this 6th div element. So over here we will say div 6, and then let's say we provide the background color, and we will use this particular color over here as the background color this time. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, div 6 element by default is getting displayed to the right of div 4 and to the left of div 5. But guys, based on our task, we want to display the div 6 below the div 4 and the div 5 element. So how this can be done? We can use the clear property, since we have already used the float property for the div 4 and div 5. So since the div 6 element is the next element to the div 4 and div 5 elements, we need to use the clear property over here in order to get this 6th div element on the next line. So guys, what we can do is simply we will say clear, and then we will have the value as both. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So now as you can see, div 6 is getting displayed below this div 4 and div 5 respectively, and this is how we can use the float and clear properties as well. If we provide the left value over here, let us check what will happen. So when we save this file now and try reloading this page, so there is no change right now, and with the value that is right as well, probably there will be no change over here. So guys, basically the important thing is to make use of this clear property after we have used the float property on any of the HTML elements to make the other, that is the next HTML elements, appear on their original position. So guys, in this way we have completed all these tasks in our exercise over here. So comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. The next video that we are going to talk about is horizontal and vertical align in CSS. So stay tuned. So guys, now we are going to work on an exercise on alignment, pseudo classes, combinators, and the attribute selectors that we have seen previously. So guys, it is very important that you practice on your own so that you get the better understanding of all these concepts as far as CSS is concerned. So guys, we are going to complete the below task in order to finish this particular exercise. So first of all, we are going to create a div tag with a sample text and with a width of 50% and having the yellow background color and some border over here. So guys, let us create the div tag in this case. So I'm going to simply remove the previous lines of code that we had written in the HTML and the CSS files over here. Guys, if you are new to these concepts, you can watch my previous videos in the playlist. The link I have given in the description section below related to the CSS tutorial. So you get the better understanding of all these concepts that we are going to work on in this particular list of tasks. So guys, first of all, we are going to create the div tag in this case. So basically we have this div tag, and inside of this div tag, let us have certain text over here. So simply we are going to say this is a div tag over here. Now guys, let me just save this file now, and inside the CSS file what we are going to do is we are going to have the width as 50%, background color is yellow, and some border for this div tag. So inside the style.css file we are going to define this div tag, and then we will say width as 50% of the screen width, and then the background color as yellow. So we are going to say the background color CSS property as yellow color over here, and apart from this we are going to have the border as well. So let's say we have 2 pixels border of the solid type and the color as the black color for the border. So guys, let me just save this file now and try reloading this page on the browser. So as you can see, we have a very simple div tag over here that we have created based on the first task inside this exercise. Now guys, we need to center align the above div tag horizontally using the margin. So guys, we had seen in the alignment video how we can align this div tag horizontally at the center of the screen over here. So basically we can use the margin CSS property in this case. So guys, inside the style.css file, simply we are going to say margin CSS property, and simply we can say the value that we are going to use is auto over here, so that from the left and right hand side the margin is equal and the div tag is centered horizontally as far as the horizontal alignment is concerned. So guys, let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, this is the way that we can center a particular div at the center of the screen as far as horizontal alignment is concerned. Now guys, apart from this, let us move to the next task. So over here we need to create a paragraph with random text on multiple lines. So guys, inside the HTML file over here, what we have to do is we need to create the p tag, that is the paragraph tag over here, and simply we are going to generate some random text in this case. So let us say we use the lorem emmet abbreviation over here in order to generate some random text that will be displayed on multiple lines on the web browser. So guys, let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, multiple lines are getting displayed over here inside the paragraph tag. Now guys, the next task is to color the first line of the paragraph as green color using the pseudo class over here, and also increase the font size to 28 pixels. So guys, if you remember, for this paragraph tag what we can do is we can use the pseudo class, that is the first line, in order to implement certain CSS properties for the first line over here for this paragraph tag. So for the p tag in this case, simply we are going to provide colon, and then we have something called as first line over here. So we have first hyphen line in this case. So guys, this is the pseudo element that we will be using, that is the first line over here, and then inside this we are going to set the color as green color based on the requirements, and the font size will be 28 pixels. So as you can see, this is the 28 pixels, that is the font size that we have to set. So we have set the font size as 28 pixels over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the first line of this paragraph is now having the color as green color, and the font size is also 28 pixels, that is getting implemented over here. Now guys, let us move to another task. We need to create another paragraph below, and using the sibling combinator, make the background color as aqua over here. So guys, what we will do is, first of all, for this particular paragraph we are going to provide the ID as para over here. So simply we are going to say para in this case, and the same ID we are going to use while we are using this pseudo element, that is first line. So guys, let me just copy this ID and provide it over here inside of the p tag. So basically we are going to use the hash character followed by the para ID over here. So guys, let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, the pseudo element is helping us in order to implement the CSS properties that we have already defined over here. Now guys, let us complete the next task in order to create the paragraph. So basically we are going to create another paragraph over here below this paragraph that is having the ID as para. So we have the paragraph over here. Let us have another ID, that is para 1 in this case, and then we will say this is another paragraph. So guys, we have a very simple statement, that is, this is another paragraph over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have a very simple statement, that is, this is another paragraph. Now guys, what we have to do is we need to use the sibling combinator selector in order to make the background color as aqua for this particular paragraph. So guys, basically as per the requirement, we don't have to select this paragraph directly, but we need to select this paragraph that is having the ID as para, and then we need to find the next sibling, which is this particular paragraph, for which the background color needs to be set. So guys, what we can do is, since we have provided the ID as para over here previously, the same ID we are going to use, that is para, for this main paragraph, that is the first paragraph we have created, and then we are going to use the sibling combinator, which is the plus character over here. So guys, basically when we use the plus character, it is going to identify the next sibling over here, and the next sibling tag is the p tag over here. So guys, basically we are using the sibling combinator in this case in order to identify this new paragraph that we have created, and for this new paragraph we need to set the background color as aqua. So over here we are going to set the background color as aqua color. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the background color is now updated to aqua color over here. So guys, in this way we can easily use the sibling combinator selector in order to select the next sibling as far as the CSS selector is concerned. Now guys, apart from this, let us create another paragraph with the title equal to para and make the font weight as bold by using the attribute selector over here. So guys, let us move to the HTML file in this case, and then let us have another paragraph for which we need to have the title attribute over here, which should be equal to para in this case, and then let us say we have this is another paragraph with title attribute. So guys, basically we have a very simple statement, that is, this is another paragraph with title attribute over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, this is another paragraph with title attribute. So what we have to do is we need to make the font weight as bold by using the attribute selector in this case. So guys, how do we use the attribute selector, that is title over here? So simply we can use the p tag inside the CSS file. So let me show you that. We have used the p tag previously, and then inside the open and close square brackets we need to provide the attribute that is title. So guys, this is another way in order to select the HTML elements by using the attribute selector by providing the attribute inside the square brackets over here, and then followed by open and close curly braces. Simply we can have the font weight in this case, and simply we can say the value as bold over here. So guys, basically it is going to identify that paragraph which is having the title attribute over here. So far we have created the other two paragraphs with only the ID attributes but not the title attribute, but since this third paragraph is having the title attribute, the CSS property, that is font weight equal to bold, will be implemented on this third paragraph that is having the title attribute over here. So guys, let me just save the CSS file in this case and let me just reload this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, font weight equal to bold is now getting implemented over here, and the text is appearing as bold text over here on the web browser. Guys, apart from this, we can also increase the font size over here. So inside the same CSS selector, that is by using the attribute selector, we can have the font size as 30 pixels in this case. So let's say we provide the value as 30 pixels. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, the font size is increased to 30 pixels over here. So guys, in this way we can also use the attribute selector. We can provide the value of the attribute as well. So since we have used the value as para, simply we can copy this value and paste this over here. So we provide equal to operator followed by double quotes, and inside the double quotes simply we can provide the para value for this particular title attribute. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. There will be no change since we have already applied the CSS properties previously. So let us provide another CSS property. Let us make this text as underline over here. So what we can do is simply inside this particular p tag that is having the title attribute as para, we are going to say text decoration in this case, and then we are going to say underline as the value for this text decoration. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we are getting the underline for this particular text inside this paragraph. So guys, in this way we can also use the attribute selector over here instead of using the tag or the ID or the class name as the selectors that we have seen previously. So guys, we have completed all the tasks in this particular exercise. Hopefully you have also completed all these tasks on your own. So guys, it is very important that you practice on your own so that you get a better understanding as far as the CSS concepts are concerned. Comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. The next video that we are going to talk about is styling forms in CSS. So stay tuned. So now we will work on an exercise on grid layout in CSS, and we will be making a sidebar and the content with the help of the grid layout. So guys, we will design a sidebar and content area on left and right sections by using the grid layout in CSS, and apart from this we will also add the header and the footer sections. So guys, let us move to the VS Code over here, and simply I am going to remove the previous lines of code inside the HTML and the CSS files that we had written previously. Now guys, what we will do is simply we will have the container div tag over here. So we have the div tag with the class container, and then inside this we will have the sidebar and the content areas. So basically we are going to have the class name that is sidebar over here. Simply I am going to have the content that is sidebar for this div tag, and then we are going to also have the content class which is another div tag over here. So guys, basically we have the content keyword in this case. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page on the browser. So as you can see, these are the two div tags that we are starting from scratch, and we are going to have the sidebar on the left hand side of the screen and the content on the right hand side. So guys, what we have to do is we need to make this container class as a grid layout container. So simply I'm going to copy this container class over here, and then inside the style.css file we are going to define certain CSS properties. So first of all, we have the display is equal to grid, and then apart from this we will also have certain background color. So let's say we have the background color of yellow, and also we will provide certain padding. So let's say we have 20 pixels of padding over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, this is the container that is having the two div tags, that is the sidebar and the content. Now guys, we need to make two columns out of this container. On first column we will have the sidebar, and then inside the second column we will have the content. So guys, what we will do is simply we will use the another CSS property, that is grid template columns, which helps us in order to provide the number of columns over here. So since we have provided the two values in this case with the help of the auto keywords, there will be two columns that will be created. And then guys, apart from this we also want a certain column gap in between both the columns. So we will say a column gap of 20 pixels over here. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, the sidebar and the content are now getting displayed horizontally in this case. Now guys, we will also have certain CSS properties to both these div tags so that we can identify and separate them as far as the grid container is concerned. So what we will do is inside the container class we will provide the CSS property to div tags that are having the sidebar and the content classes respectively. So simply we are going to use the class names over here, that is the sidebar and the content, and we are going to have certain common CSS properties over here. So first of all, we will have the background color. So let's say we have the background color as aqua color over here, and also we will provide the padding of 10 pixels in this case. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, we can now see the two columns over here, that is sidebar and content in this case, and also we are having the column gap of 20 pixels over here. Now guys, what we will do is we will decrease the width of the sidebar and increase the width of the content, since a sidebar takes only around 20 to 25% of the screen width over here. So what we have to do is simply we will provide the 200 pixels as the size of the first column over here instead of the auto keyword. So let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. As you can see, the width of the sidebar is now reduced in this case. Now guys, apart from this, we also want to add the header and footer sections over here. So simply we are going to add two more div tags in this case, and then then we are going to have the class names as header and footer respectively. So guys, over here we have the header and footer in this case, and then inside this div tag, that is the header div tag, we will have the h1 tag over here, and we will say this is a heading. And also for the footer tag, we are going to have the statement that this is a footer section over here. So guys, we have this is a heading section and we have this is a footer section inside the header and the footer classes respectively. Now guys, let me just save this file now and let us see how it looks like on the UI. So when we reload this page, as you can see, this is a heading is now getting displayed over here on the first row, and the sidebar is also getting displayed on the first row and the second column. So what we have to do is we need to define the grid column start and grid column end over here, so that this particular heading takes the entire space, that is from left to right over here. So inside the style.css file for the header and the footer classes, we are going to have certain common CSS properties. So over here we have defined the header and the footer classes in this case. So what we have to do is we need to make the grid column start, that is this particular CSS property start from the first line over here, and then it should end at the third line. Why so? Because we have two columns over here. Or we can also say that the header and the footer div tags must occupy the space of the two columns. So we have to define the grid column end as well. So over here we provide the grid column end in this case, and then we provide the line number 3 over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, we have this is heading section, and then we have this is footer section over here. Apart from this, let us also provide certain padding at the background color over here. So let's say we have the padding of 10 pixels again and the background color as well. So let's say we use this chart reuse background color over here. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. As you can see, we have this is heading section, and then we have this is footer section over here. Now guys, there is one problem in this case. We have 3 number of rows, that is first row is over here, then the second row is sidebar and the content, and the third row is the footer section. We need to have certain gap in between all the rows. So what we can do is, similar to column gap, we can have the row gap as well, and this time let's say we have 10 pixels of row gap. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page. So as you can see, these are the gaps that we have provided over here. Now guys, apart from this, we also want to align this text at the center of the div tag. So simply we are going to use the text align CSS property and the value as center. So when we reload this page, as you can see, the header and the footer section are now having the text at the center of the div tags over here. So guys, this is the way that we have designed our sidebar and the content over here. Let us have certain content in the form of links inside the sidebar. So what we can do is simply over here in the HTML file, instead of having the sidebar over here, we will have the unordered list in this case, and inside this we will have the list items over here, and inside the list item we will have the A tags in this case. So guys, let us define certain links inside the sidebar. So we have these many links over here. We will rename the content inside the links. So first of all, we have the home link in this case, and let's say we have the blog, and then followed by videos, and then let's say we have certain programming languages. So first of all we have Java, and then let's say we have HTML, and of course we are going through the CSS tutorial. So over here we have the CSS link as well. So guys, if you are new to this channel, we are making a lot of CSS tutorial videos which you can find in the playlist that I have given in the description section. So you can go through all the videos as well if you want to practice with the help of examples. And please make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, that is Programming for Beginners, so that you get the notifications on the upcoming videos as well. So guys, over here we have defined certain links inside the unordered list. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have all these list items inside the sidebar over here that you can navigate to. And then guys, inside the content we can have certain random text over here. So instead of content, what we will do is we will use the lorem emmet abbreviation over here. So basically we are going to define certain random text in this case. Let me just save this file now and try reloading this page once again on the browser. So as you can see, we have the random text that is getting generated over here. So guys, in this way we have easily designed our header section and the footer section as well. You can have your own CSS properties for these header and the footer sections respectively. And apart from this, on the left hand side we have the sidebar content, which is having the list of links in this case, and we also have the content section over here. We can also have the right hand side sidebar over here of, let's say, some of the popular videos or the popular blog post in this case. So you can simply provide the third column in this case, which should be present only in the second row over here as per your requirements. So guys, I'll leave this up to you as a homework for you so that you can practice on your own and add a right hand side sidebar that might have certain popular videos or the blog post which users can navigate to. So guys, comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. The next video that we are going to talk about is how to center the HTML element inside the div element using CSS. So stay tuned.